Hey guys, I'm Doug.
And I'm Phil from American Yogi.
And Phil is here to explain to me why yoga is beneficial for pipe hitters, killers, whatever arbitrary, uber masculine word you might attribute to your career or identity. I think it all starts with meditation. What is meditation?
So for me, a lot of people approach yoga different ways. For me, I found my start in meditation before I even got to yoga. After going through a really terrible accident, some terrible physical pain, I lost 2 buddies around the very same time in a short period. I was weeks away from selection, so my mind was in a terrible place. While my body couldn't quite do yoga yet, I was looking for holistic solutions. So I started meditating prior to finding yoga. I'd find myself in cabins in the woods or cabins in the mountains of Manitou, Colorado. I'd find myself in college campuses surrounded by kids, being led by some old professor to teach meditation. And at first, obviously I was skeptical about it. As a man, as a tough dude, or so I thought I was a tough dude, that I didn't belong in those places, but I needed help. I needed a way to start healing my mind. Essentially, though, it's breathing. It's breathing. It's sitting in stillness. It's being present. At least so I thought when I started meditating.
Well, the stillness part.
The stillness part.
A lot of people think and say, I can't meditate, which I kind of get, because when I first started doing meditation, I was like, everything I did that focused on meditation essentially became journaling for me, right? Because it was like I couldn't sit quietly and not do anything. I got fidgety, I lost focus, all of which I now know is okay within the context of meditation. Yeah. But for me, like Headspace and the cartoons that were associated with Headspace, like watching their visualizations helped me work through meditation. I still understand why meditation as a whole is this big roadblock for people, why they don't want to do it. How does yoga as a physical practice satisfy a lot of the same benefits that meditation does?
So first I want to squash the meditation is this or meditation is that. People's favorite thing to do when they come out the field or just on the weekends, clean their weapons, right? You strip apart the weapon, you clean every part.
And bang hookers.
Also getting drunk and banging hookers, but at the same, everyone
it's not their favorite thing to do.
No one loves cleaning weapons in the sense that you just want to get home, you want to go have a beer, you want to hang out.
Because E4 Armorer is a dickhead who continues not cleaning enough, bring it back,
or accepts bribes.
That's why you just got to sit at the back and wait for him to accept one weapon, and then the rest of them are going.
Absolutely,
Day's
check
over.
That weapon.
Yep.
But cleaning weapons can be meditation. Yep. Walking down the street can be meditation. Washing your dishes could be meditation, for example. Now,
clearing your thoughts,
focusing on a task at one task at one time. They call it one-mindedness. So for me, when I found meditation, I thought it was one thing. I thought it was sitting still, and I thought it was smelling incense or sitting in a room with other people that were sitting quietly. But when I found yoga to me was the vehicle to turn my meditation practice into a physical practice. Yoga allows you to access the present moment with a clear mind.
Typically, guys and gals talk about how much they miss deployments, how the sole focus of a deployment, the lack of distractions from bills or family, no other obligations, like a very clear schedule with focusing on survival, whether it be patrolling, eating, whatever. You have a very structured regimen that takes away a lot of the outside noise. Our deployments, meditation.
So all deployments can be meditation in that way. A lot of what we talk, the way we speak about it is different than the way we feel about it, right? On deployment, even though things may seem simpler, in a lot of ways they're harder, right?
They can be.
And mentally, emotionally, there's still things we're dealing with. While we don't have the stresses of home, we are still stressed by the thought of home, or we can be stressed by the thought of home.
Well, I think inadvertently what people miss about the deployment are the things that they can find effectively in a meditation practice.
Yes.
I know that my ability to function in a nebulous deployment environment increased greatly when I started meditating and doing yoga during deployments.
Absolutely.
Where people were like, what are you doing, man? I was like, well, I make 45 minutes a day to go up and just sit on the roof.
Yeah.
It's sun tanning. I just go up in the sun, but I go through it and guys are like, whoa, I don't have time for that. I'm like, everybody has time for that.
Especially on deployment.
Yep.
My last deployment, I started I started meditating on our roof really because I wanted to get out of the office. We'd come off mission. My back was hurting. I was hot. I was sweaty, but I wanted to unwind. I wanted to relax. I like to transition from doing one thing to the other where I'm not staying in that hyper-vigilant mind state. So especially on deployment, meditation, whether that's a moving meditation through yoga or whether that's a seated meditation or laying on a towel or a yoga mat on the roof getting sun with your shirt off, all meditation. They all allow you to access the moment, all allow you to transition your mind from one compartment to another.
The daunting part of meditation is that you're forcing yourself to be quiet with your own thoughts for a period of time.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to do that because you feel like you're failing at the thought process. Like you don't know what the thought process is. It's not clearly delineated. And when there's these long blank periods, you start thinking about other stuff and then you're like, I'm failing. But it's kind of the point.
And that's the first thing I always hear from people. I can't meditate because I can't sit still for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But what people don't realize too is that even in the starts, in the beginnings of meditation, it's less about ignoring your thoughts, less about stopping your thoughts because you're never able to stop your thoughts.
Letting them come and letting them go.
You acknowledge it, you put it to the side, as if you were walking down a path. You start straying from that path and you take 2 steps and you're back on the path and you're walking forward.
If that's a problem for people in meditation, how does yoga address that?
The great thing about yoga is that, at least the way that I view it, is that it's my moving meditation. It's a way to focus on that just as if you're focusing on your breath. If a thought comes as you're doing yoga, whether it's this is painful or I don't know what I'm doing.
But all of the feelings that come are like associated with your body and they're things that you can like, it's not you thinking about typically your relationship or your work or whatever's stressing you out. You're thinking about the pain of the movement, like the uncertainty, the balance.
Absolutely.
Like you're connected to your body, going through movements that are unfamiliar or challenging, and you're clearing your brain of all of the other stuff that you brought into the practice.
And how can you do that? Is because yoga gives you a focal point. Yoga gives you something to focus on.
Physical movement.
Physical movement.
Yep.
Where should my hand go? Where should my foot go? Now that my hand and my feet are in those places, now where does my hip go? Okay, now that I've settled the body, now where does my breath go? Am I breathing in or out?
It's uncomfortable, right? And I think that like in general, Stoicism is so popular now. People are like,
Stoic.
People are like, oh man, like I'm really into Stoicism. I'm like, well, most of that is just accepting that like life is uncomfortable, life is painful. And I think that a lot of people dwell on that, like it's going to last forever. But I think with yoga, it trains your mind and body to accept that discomfort is temporary and fleeting, and that you can actually move through discomfort effectively and then feel better.
Which really in the military community, I mean, especially in the SOF community, we enjoy doing hard things. When someone tells you can't do something, what do we instantly want to do?
I'm going to do that shit.
That exact thing.
Type 2 fun.
So why should meditation be any different? Oh, I can't meditate. Or someone tells me I can't meditate. That's going to make me want to try. That's going to make me want to do it. Push my body and push my mind.
Well, I know that the temptation in our brains, in the human brain, period, is to make mountains out of molehills too. Whether it be focused sitting meditation or like a movement practice like yoga, going through being present and decluttering your brain reduces the significance of things that previously felt overwhelming before a session. Mm-hmm. Whether you have clarity about how to approach those issues or not, what you do have is peace. Like you walk out of it and be like, I don't know if that matters that much anymore.
Yeah, and yoga, the way that I feel is that yoga tricks your mind into meditating. You may walk into a yoga class and think that you can't meditate or that you're not meditating. But you leave and maybe you feel the cluttering of your brain has been put in separate file cabinets. Where now you walk out and you feel like the office is clean.
Well, we're all judgy. So like when you go in for a yoga class, the teacher, whatever they say, like at first you're like, this person's stupid. Like what are they talking about? Like why are they airing all their dirty laundry for the class? And as soon as you let that go, because you're now suffering the movement, as soon as that, then all of a sudden at the end, when you're sitting thinking, a lot of the things that are being said suddenly have a lot more relation to how you're processing your problems.
Exactly.
And it gives you a lot more clarity.
And even if a lot of times people may think, well, they don't know me. They don't know what I've been through. This teacher doesn't understand what I've endured.
Yep.
But the fact is, it doesn't matter, does it?
I mean, we all like 20-year-old white chicks telling us how the stars are going to change our lives.
But then you've got guys like me that maybe look a little more like the rest of our community and a little less like those.
But you'll still give me my energy reading, right?
I'll read your energy every class. I will align every one of your chakras, Doug.
But I mean, I think it's funny because the woo shit turns a lot of people off from this process. But the reality is, the woo stuff is a next level manifestation of this progress. It's a way for people to more deeply connect into this thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's good or it's bad. I've had interesting personal experiences with it along the way. I credit it probably more than I should as a logical thinking individual.
Yeah, but as woo shit, you look at old warriors, ancient warriors. They practice yoga, they practice meditation, they practice breathing exercises.
Now we're getting into that woo shit. The thing is, though, that it has an undeniable benefit. I mean, going through the practice, whether you embrace the crunchiness or the woo or not, just simply taking 30, 45, 75, 90 minutes of time to just stop obsessing means a lot.
And you might find that all because you had a typically woo-woo teacher in class talking you through your breathing, and then you find out next time you're in uniform or next time you're in a stressful situation, those breathing exercises that you found in that class are making it easier to think and breathe when you're in a combat situation.
So like when people figure out that meditation, structured breathing, movement meditation like yoga all help reduce their baseline of stress and make them feel better and more functional, they open up to it more.
I agree. And really the humility that it takes to enter a studio or to do class, even if you're on your own, and to realize that you can't do everything perfectly the first time, that humility will carry over. That being a student again makes it easier to be a student in the rest of your life again.
We're kind of in the sunset of our military careers. I don't like to think that we're long in the tooth, but apparently we're getting older. As a seasoned dude who's done a few things, what would you tell young Phil as an E3, E4 who wants to do more?
While you still can keep driving forward, while you still can suck it up, you still take care of your body. And that's something that I learned later in life, that if I keep ignoring my body over the years, I'm going to get to the point of no return. If I could start over, I would have started yoga, I would have started meditation from the very beginning to prolong my career, to prolong my ability to do badass things that I can't do as well as I used to. Yoga isn't the only thing that's going to bring you to meditation. Isn't the only answer. Rock climbing, biking, running, all ways to access the meditative state, all ways to access the present moment. And all those things make you a more rounded individual, a healthier mentally and physically individual.
If your real goal is to be a better, more well-rounded individual, you should open your mind up to things like yoga and meditation, no matter how distasteful it is to you. At your core, no matter how much you want to be like, that's stupid and it's for chicks and sissies and I don't have time for it, I would encourage anybody that's watching this video to give it a chance to actually spend a month focusing on it and working it, maybe not into your daily activity, but a 3 or 4 time a week thing, just working on your movement.
And you might find the more that you practice, the more people that are going to want to practice with you.
If you're willing to take the risk of looking stupid and feeling a little out of your comfort zone, but feeling way better because of it, jump on the app, look at our mobility section. We got 7 flows specifically focused for different needs of you as a tactical athlete. See if it works for you. And if it does, then open your mind up to potentially getting into a movement practice at a local studio that's guided, where you can actually get a lot more release, focus, and feel healthier and better for your day-to-day job.